Greetings world, we are anonymous. This seasonal, Operation Safe Winter, went very well and we are pleased to announce the news of our unimaginably successful event. However, it is with a heavy heart we present our message in this somber fashion. The state of things cannot be overlooked, it must be addressed even when we are completely successful, giving out many donated goods and having an amazing time with our friends and family. Our government continues to oppress a population that is homeless and exacerbates the situation at the annual poor, forcing them into the streets through legislative policies. It is now illegal to feed the poor on the streets in America. However, this has been the case in many countries outside of America for quite some time. The New World Order's control over Earth is only serving to drive us further and further into free market economics. The support of those economic theories come with the cost of implementing purely socialist policies, so both sides are incorrect. However, there has always been a party of independents that have historically risen up to take the majority vote at times like this. Speaking of histories, it is not coincidence Hitler instituted free healthcare and offered to provide for every need of the people in Germany, just as our president is doing now, socializing our internet through removing net neutrality while simultaneously opening up facets of the industry to free market economic theories. One need only understand that the two are the same. This is exactly the reason Germany saw hyperinflation during that era, and Russia also saw hyperinflation. Regardless of the current fact that our dollars are backed by bonds, another form of currency, this financial mechanism only works under the parameters it was originally designed, i.e., the Bretton Woods Agreement, written in the 1940s. A system confined to economies of scale. Unfortunately, due to the will of evil men, over time, the international agreement of some 200 nations was turned into a form of intellectual slavery. Holding the basis of the national economies hostage, America then slowly transitioned into a free-floating dollar over the decades, of the same type that existed up until the Depression. In fact, the Great Depression was the sole reason for attempting this enormous international endeavor. Our country was supposed to have mutually respectful economic policies, which should empower smaller or poorer countries. This would allow those countries to grow while America itself was able to grow without great number differences interfering between nations. You must understand all nations' economies are connected. So even though people in other countries are receiving their money in their local national currency, American dollars are at the heart. China only owns 7% of American bonds. Approximately 70% of bonds are owned by trading companies in America. Other trading companies, overseas, own the other percentages and trade them in the stock market. If Obama wants to tax overseas profits, this actually has no positive moral effect on the informed, since this is simply moving towards unveiling the global order already in place, and international system. Overseas profit tax will only hurt the little man making a few extra thousand in those markets. The big man remains indifferent, but excited for the wealth that Obama and Cameron's global order will bring them shortly. Over the last half-century, the arrows of Nixon, Carter, Reagan, Bush and all the others, since they are all complicit, removed the protectionist policies around our currency over time, leading to a slippery slope of free-floating currency, fiat money, based solely on the psychology of the population. This makes the American mind the target to control, to gather wealth. Obviously, this is why television is so subpar. By forming a partnership between the federal government using the GI Bill as collateral on mortgages to the financiers, the corporate banks, or just create Freddie Mac, since in effect, it is the same thing, is what really solidified the casino economy we now have. Thus, this is the reason for the somber message in this video. Homeless, sleeping on streets have been illegalized in both Democratic and Republican districts. Sleeping on streets simply means any person with a sleeping bag or pillow is subject to ticketing and arrest within city limits and not in a private dwelling. Yet, our municipalities are not providing adequate shelters before changing their policies, simply revealing that governments globally are addicted to the false Malthusian ideology, which has been disproved by time, over and over again. The government is lying to us, and they are all in on the secret society agenda to turn the majority into slaves. Soon the homeless that are still alive will be forced into labor camps along with every remaining free-thinking person who understands the screw job that is occurring. Our local collective participated in #OpSafeWinter and acquired a proper permit only for the purpose of showing the world that our message is a positive one. The truth is not something people should fear, no matter the reality that follows. It is only from that reality that we can begin to reverse the situation. Those with an inability to face the truth struggle with cowardice. By burying our heads in the sand, citizens are allowing all wealth to congregate around the New World Order's plan and allow us to follow our masters into a dark, evil future.
I can use that as insulation.
Independent businesses have been priced out, not by cheap prices on goods, but as a result of rising rents. They cannot pay the rents because of conglomeration. For instance, X Finance Co. buys the land and builds a big store, then X grocery store pays the rent to their own finance company. Then X Finance Co. begins to raise the rent since the location appreciates, in theory, due to development in the short run. Since they are the price setters, they adjust for growth when real growth does not exist. It does not exist because the neighbor mom and pop grocery, who was a supposed competitor, cannot afford to pay the rent when their rents rise, unless they own the entire business. At which point, the owners get fed up and sell out, and with the profits they already have, they move into retirement. This is regressive and must be stopped. This occurrence leads to monopolies in small areas, also known as a monopsony, but the local economy disintegrates in the long run, since the mom and pop stores all shut down and the money is not recycled in the community as economic theories understand it must, and historically it has. Currently, profits immediately go to traders in New York, who then invest that money in furthering the screw job. Now, right now, is a call to action for an antitrust litigation revolution. Now is the time to tell monoculture we want nothing to do with it. That we do not want entrepreneurship to become extinct and a fool's thought, like 1984, to take over the minds of the masses. Any unemployed lawyer you know, you must tell to start pursuing antitrust cases, and pursuing these cases will provide income for the lawyer. Clog the court system in litigation. Of all the locations that an economist does not want this next thought to exist, it is actually a location. This thought is the most rampant, those in the poorest countries. These poor locations are now seeing America as the sole beacon for a decent life, especially with Mr. Dictator Insane Obama providing the groundwork infrastructure for them to enter. These foreigners come from such oppression in their own countries, created by the insidious international New World policies of America and the European Union, partnered with the corrupt governments they have infiltrated over the years. Now our new fellow countrymen are willing to coddle and accept assimilation into the cyborg New World Order zombie system, if only they feed themselves and their child for an indifferent amount of time. They do not care that, if this continues in only a few years, or one generation, America will be the same as where they came from, with all the same problems. We are facing a serious struggle with myopic thinking, perpetuated by Social Security. Yes, Social Security produces myopic behavior and leads to inflation. Since there are no economies of scale, this is the same problem with all insurance and social health care. Those problems in poor countries, they will be coming here if we allow this to continue. If this continues at its current direction, the problems that will come are 99% of the population living in pure poverty stacked on top of each other with no fresh water, and children pooping in the streets. It was that precise situation the proper economic understanding of the Bretton Woods Agreement would have prevented, had that system not been abused. If only we did not reside in this sadistic domain. While dictator Obama allows 10 million in the last round and 5 million in the last term, who were already here, mind you, simply unreported. And I wonder how many more unreported foreigners will suddenly appear and need assistance. And how many 1%ers will persuade this communistic mob to, quote, lend a helping hand, end quote, even though it was the economics of this effing country that made their countries suck in the first place. As America continues to suck, apparently only Anonymous has the courage to face these problems directly at their roots, and that is the Illuminati. A loose term for multiple secret societies comprising the New World Order system. We know that everything I have just said will provide the foundations for introducing a new global currency, with the sole purpose of erasing the interest and the debt that interest is being charged on. Intelligent people know that the system we are currently under is, in fact, already a one-world currency system based on the dollar. Sure, minimum wage might go up first, and gas might go down, anything to sucker us into hell. Already now, foreign banks have a type of social security number with the American Federal Reserve. They simply add and exchange their currencies with the Fed, but it is based on the dollar. So again, a new currency will only serve to erase debt and interest, but will continue to perpetuate the system. Meanwhile, we the people are living in the Hunger Games. We already have districts, as you see, and it is worse in other modern countries. But always remember, for the majority of the recorded centuries, there has been only one law, common to all kingdoms and city-states, and that law is, that a prince may never mint his own coin. Also, bear in mind there is something modern economists might say is worse than hyperinflation, and that is stagflation. To the New World Order and its constituents viewing this, do you really think you will beat me and my people? Bullocks. We are one. We are a legion. We do not forgive the New World Order. We intend to expunge these insidious policies and restore truth. You will never be successful with my generation. We will always oppose you, because we are free, in mind, spirit, and soon to be, body. We do not give a flying flip about liars nor what they think. Your solar panel policies are trash. Your supposed clean energy, garbage, and all of your lies with them. New World Order, this is check. Obama, you are coming undone. We are Anonymous. We are more than legion. We are your nightmare incarnate, heaven sent. My voice owns yours. Let freedom ring.